for Brampton Centre.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm pleased to participate in today's debate on Private Member's Bill C-237, an act to amend the Federal Provincial Fiscal Arrangements Act and the Canada Health Act. As proposed, this bill would do two things. First, it would allow any promise to withdraw from federal program in provincial jurisdiction if comparable programs exist. And it would exempt Quebec from the criteria and conditions that must be met in order to receive a full cash contribution through Canada Health Transfer. Madam Speaker, before I get into the concerns that the government has with these amendments, let me very quickly provide you with a little history surrounding the Canada Health Act. The act that was passed unanimously in the House of Commons in 1984 represents a broad consensus among Canadians and their federal and provincial territorial governments that access to insured health services should be based on medical need and not one's ability to pay. Since then, the Act has been considered the gold standard of federal spending power, being used to set national objectives in an area of provincial jurisdiction. The Act, in conjunction with the Federal Provincial Fiscal Arrangement Act, does so by establishing broad criteria and conditions that provinces and territories must fulfill to receive full cash contribution under the Canada Health Transfer. Canada Health Transfer. Provincial health insurance legislation and regulation, including those of Quebec, mirror and in some cases go beyond the requirements of Canada Health Act. Madam Speaker, that leads me to the first concern our government has with this proposed legislation. By accepting this legislation and exempting Quebec from the Canada Health Act's condition, we would weaken the foundation of Canada's universal healthcare system. The Act establishes the objectives and values underlying universal single-payer healthcare for promises to receive full Canada Health Transfer payments. Provincial health insurance programs must be in compliance with 5 broad principles: universality, portability, comprehensiveness, accessibility, and public administration. Provinces have not requested that these conditions be repealed. Moreover, Madam Speaker, I would like to remind the honourable member from the Bloc Québécois that since the creation of the Canada Health Act, Quebec has broadly complied with the Act's principles. Indeed, the discretionary penalty provisions of the Act, which give the government discretion to withhold the Canada Health Transfer contributions to promises in contravention of the 5 principles have never been used. There have been some instances of non-compliance in Quebec and other promises with respect to extra billing and user charges, where mandatory deductions under the Canada Health Act have been applied. Madam Speaker, it is also important to note that the principle of asymmetric federalism renders the proposed amendment to the Federal Provincial Fiscal Arrangements Act unnecessary for Quebec. As a part of the 2004 Health Accord, the federal government and the government of Quebec signed a bilateral agreement on asymmetric federalism. Under this agreement, Quebec supported the overall objectives and general principles set out by First Ministers, while respecting Quebec's desire to exercise its own responsibilities in planning, organizing, and managing health services.